And look, this has been an unraveling of sorts for this organization. You're always on the clock, and now with Kyrie Irving, this is an organization that has no leverage in these extension talks. But you look at where this organization is right now, it is hard to see a pathway of getting the kind of players around Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving that would make this team a contender again anytime in the near future.
Let me be very, very clear. The Dallas Mavericks are an absolute mess.
I'm not sure about you guys, but this looks like some pretty good help to me.
Washington penetrates, push shot is good. Washington with a jab step and fire, and the three. Rebound Green. Washington got another one.
Yes, those were just a few of the 7 3-point makes PJ Washington had in Game 2 against OKC, in which he dropped 29 points, 11 boards, and 4 assists, all the whilst doing what he has done all year long, which is play high-level defense, like on this play where he helps from the weak side to block Lu Dort at the rim. And what did Dallas give up to bring in a guy capable of doing all of those things? Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a 2027 first-round pick. That's not just a decent trade, that is an excellent move from Dallas. And if there is one front office in the NBA that is owed an apology, it is the Dallas Mavericks, because ever since Luka Doncic was drafted, they have been ridiculed for every single move they have made, from trading Porzingis to trading for Kyrie, and of course, letting go of Jalen Brunson, which we all know was a mistake, but it's time people give the Mavs front office the credit they deserve, because in the span of a year, they've turned a roster that looked directionless into a team perfectly built around Luka Doncic's strengths. You might not remember now because of how good he has been, but when the Mavs traded for Kyrie last year, most of the media believed it was a deal that Brooklyn overwhelmingly won. A deal in which Dallas gave up Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a first-round pick 6 years into the future. Those were the 3 assets they gave up for a guy who over the course of the regular season and now playoffs has averaged close to 26 points per game on nearly 50, 40, 90 shooting. A guy that is capable of doing things like this.
Irving, dancing, prancing, pulls up, three-pointer, bang! And a foul!
But before we get back to the Kyrie trade and how he has managed to fit in perfectly alongside Luka Doncic, it's the moves Dallas have made around Kyrie and Luka that deserve a lot of credit. I mentioned PJ Washington. Well, at the same time they made the PJ trade, they brought in something they have been missing for a long time: a reliable lob threat and rim protector. Actually, let's tell the full story, because they also nailed their first-round pick this year as well, bringing in Derek Lively, going from a center rotation of Dwight Powell and JaVale McGee last year to Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. And they were able to do this because they decided to tank at the end of last season. I'm sorry, but I'll take a fine if it is the difference between Derek Lively and Dwight Powell. Heck, there are a lot of things I would do to have Derek Lively on my roster instead of Dwight Powell. No disrespect to Dwight, he is a great teammate, and these two guys have just been game changers. Two guys who just have nuclear athleticism to provide a lob threat for both Kai and Luka on offense, and then on defense, they consistently alter shots at the rim. Just look at Gafford's last few games, averaging 15, 8, and 2 blocks a game. Look at him here. Williams blows past Luka in transition, and even with him going high off the glass to avoid the block, Gafford has enough athleticism to swat it off the top of the backboard. Or in this play where Chet makes a great cut to the rim, but look at Gaff's ability to recover over and meet him at the rim without ever fully getting his balance. This is what makes Gafford such a great shot blocker. He's got the size and verticality, but he's also got quite nimble feet that allow him to slide right and left, adjusting his hips when he needs to. And this right here has been the turning point for the Dallas Mavericks. It's all been led by their defense. Prior to trading for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, the Mavs were the 22nd ranked defense in the NBA through 52 games. Following the trades, they were the 6th ranked defense the last 30 games of the season, winning 21 of those 30 games. But there is one other player who the Mavs brought in this season that has been an absolute revelation for their defense, and they gave up nothing. nothing to bring him in. It's Derrick Jones Jr. Anytime you can pick up an elite defender who is capable of knocking down some shots and making plays on offense for nothing, you deserve a round of applause. I'm serious. Give these guys a round of applause, because teams use high-end lottery picks to try and get players like Derrick Jones Jr. I'm not exaggerating either. How many 6'8" players with top 1% hops
Jones! Skywalker!
have the ability to block a James Harden step back three in isolation, and then also be capable of chasing the likes of Paul George around a screen, blocking his three-point shot. And just in case that isn't impressive enough, how about doing a bit of both? Like here, where he starts by guarding PG. PG offloads the ball to a cutting Russ, so Derrick decides to slide over and swat that layup attempt away. I mean, Luka himself said Jones Jr. is one of the top 3 defenders in the league. And then offensively, this is where all of the new Mavs players are unique. Just take PJ and DJJ for example. They aren't your typical 3-and-D players. Shooting wise, they might be a bit streakier than others, but they make up for it by having an ability to put the ball on the floor and make plays. This is something guys like Reggie Bullock were unable to do. Just watch PJ here hit Giddey with the pump fake and hit the teardrop over the 7-footer. 3-and-D players aren't supposed to be able to hit teardrops over 7-footers from that spot on the floor. Or against Terrence Mann, who doesn't bite on the pump fake, so he just barrels straight past him before then having the ability to hang and reverse it around Plumlee for 2. Now, we all know the NBA is about much more than just being able to score. You have to be able to read the defense at all time. And PJ can also do that as a playmaker. Like here, where again the defense closes out on him, so he whips a bullet pass to the corner for a Kleber 3. Guys, I can't stress enough how good these two guys are alongside Luka and Kyrie as versatile defensive wings who can knock down open threes and, just as importantly, put the ball on the floor and make plays. This is so crucial in the playoffs, because how often do you see teams stacked with only shooters on the perimeter that when they get closed out on have no idea how to put the ball on the floor and then make a play for themselves or for others? And what makes all of these moves so damn good is the age profile. The Mavs brought in 4 guys in PJ, Gaff, Lively, and Derrick Jones Jr. who are all 27 and younger. Then there's Kyrie, who might be 32, but he also had this quote earlier in the season.
What if I'm getting more athletic in my 30s? Like, that would be a heck of a thing, wouldn't it?
He said that because at 32 and as a small guard, he's been out here catching lobs from Luka in addition to everything else he does on the court. And I want to highlight his Game 2 performance against OKC, because most people would look at the box score and think it was a disappointing game for him, but his combination of defense and playmaking was special in Game 2. Play after play, he was using his quickness to get in the passing lanes and cause disruption and turnovers, even taking the assignment of guarding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for stretches of the game. That's how locked in he is defensively. Then offensively, he might not have shot the ball well, but he ended with 11 assists to just 2 turnovers. And when you have 2 guys on the same team that you are forced to double team consistently, well, that opens up the floor for these other guys. This team was considered hopeless just a year ago. Now look at them. Now, if you made it to the end of the video and want to see more content just like this, consider subscribing. It's free. Either way, have a great day. Bye.